All right, guys, it's the last meeting in August, and suddenly started thinking it's fall, even though from a seasonal standpoint, we still have another month of summer, but I don't know. In mind, mentally for me, it's September is effectively fall. So welcome. Good to see you all. Good to see some faces we don't see all the time. So glad to have everybody aboard. And in terms of, and by the way, as a side note, we've had a significant temperature drop out in our area. So we are now in the 60s and it's raining. So I'm actually that's why, and of course I work, my office is in the off the garage, is in the basement. So it's kind of the coolest part of the house. So that's why I'm a little dressed almost inappropriately for the season. But trust me, I like it on the warmer side. But at any rate, in terms of announcements, well, guess what, guys? This is the heart of the season, of the vintage electronic season from our view, because we have some heavy hitting events coming right down from August right through really into early to mid October, of just like almost weekend after weekend, something's going on. So this is terrific. This is if you've saved all your money up, do it now and spend it at this point, because in fact, this coming weekend, from the 21st to the 24th, is the Ham Exposition Amateur Radio Convention in Marlboro. So that should be exciting for you ham guys, or anybody who's even looking for vintage radios, because I think they sell a combination of both. And that's, right in the heart of Metro West Boston area. Then on September 6th, we'll have a Vintage Radio and Communications Museum of Connecticut swap meet, and that goes from 8 to 1 o'clock. That's on a Saturday. And then towards the end of September, we've got another flea at MIT Swap Fest on the September 21st. That runs from 9 to 2, as it always does. And that's typically, I think that's a Sunday, if memory serves. And if I keep rolling along, we've got Kutztown in fact, I got to actually record that, because I'm looking at my calendar and I haven't gone back and updated it. And I need to do that. The official cut, I assume Kutztown is the 17th, 16th, 17th, 18th, Bob, probably. Is because it's usually
It's
no, strike that, it's 20th.
it's Friday the 19th is
Yep.
the opening day, and then Saturday the 20th.
Yep. Because it's usually a week before our Fall Brookline event, which will be on September 27th, which nobody wants to miss. And then October has a bunch of events. We've got the AWA annual conference in Rochester on October 7th to the 11th. And then we also have Nearfest, which I got to get the date on. I've got to update when I did the calendar for this year, not all the dates were posted by the various organizations. I have to go back and do some updates here. So that actually will serve as a reminder, as a little homework item for myself this weekend. But the real theme is the calendar is generally accurate. And the most important thing is thank you, Isaiah. So I will be able to slap that into our calendar. So thank you. We have a lot of good stuff coming around the corner, so none of us will be bored. With that, and one last reminder is, speaking of Fall Brookline, we are just, we're roughly about 5 weeks away or so. So if you haven't bought your table, you may want to start thinking about getting yourself a table there. There's still plenty available, because I just did the updated assignments courtesy of Al Perkis, and it's still plenty available, but it's the hockey sticks. Only have the mad rush at the end. We'll have that, so mad rush to purchase tables. So if you haven't thought about it and plan to, don't forget. So at any rate, with that in mind, does anyone have any other announcements they want to add to this, that I might have overlooked or people should need to know? And Bill, if you want to jump in and say a few words about the New England SciTech summer camp, feel free to.
Hold on. Are you there? Here I am.
There you are.
My grandson is privileged to be a part in joining in with the New England SciTech which is in Natick. It's a nonprofit, and I think that perhaps someone from our club has spoken to them about some
Yeah.
reciprocal arrangements that we have to promote them as well as to promote our club. This is focused on young people. It goes from the whole spectrum from bots to tube radios, the history of tube radios, and soldering, and there's all sorts of clinic. My 10-year-old grandson is over the moon about it. He's just so excited and he's so engaged in it. It's a wonderful opportunity for young folks and their families to engage in what we love, which is tube technology, as well as it kind of hooks them because they're also involved with the newer technology. So they get to see the whole spectrum. So he's really excited about it. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our club to engage with them. And likewise, he can certainly send folks our way too. So I'm excited about it. He's excited about it. And John, I don't know if you've got anything to add, if anyone from the club has been, that you know of has been involved, but I know someone has been.
Sure, Bill, that would be me. I did reach out to the president a few weeks ago just to sort of talk about it because when you raised awareness about the event, about the summer camp, and there's a lot of overlap with what we're interested in because they do ham, they have tube technology, radio, they cover a lot of there's a lot of overlap. And, as we all know, we're trying to interest the younger generations to be part of this hobby. And what better way is maybe at least raise awareness of our club and, so if they could post some of our events, our three main events a year, coupled with our club website, and in turn we could post they have some um they have some events as well, I think, like shows, if you will. We'd be happy to do that and also add their organization to our resources page because I maintain a list of resources of, like, for example, members who provide services like, restoration or grill cloth or items you're looking for. Of course, WJOE for Joe Coco, but also other organizations that are complementary to us, including museums, places where you might buy parts or technology or things like that that would overlap with our club. So this is a perfect example of something to add to it. So I plan to I left it with Bob that I would shoot over there sometime in September because things will slow down for him after the big rush of the summer camp. In fact, he was rather tied up with the preparing for the summer camp, so we didn't have a very long conversation. But we had, maybe a 5 or 10 minute conversation, and maybe I'll pop over there because for me, Natick is. I used to live in Natick, and for me, Natick is only about 10 from where he's located. He's on the east side of Natick, so probably about a 15-minute drive for me to shoot over. Drive time, not really distance, but so at any rate, the short of it is, I hope to see the plays, maybe talk a little bit about what we do and what they do, and just sort of have an arrangement to at least represent each other's organizations on our website as a minimum. And if they can post a physical copy of our event, also, if they have a bulletin board or anything, that would be great too. So it'll be a nice meet and greet, learn about what they do, and also hopefully learn a little about us as well, and sort of take it from there and see what could happen or come of it. But so yeah, so Bill, all credit to you for raising awareness of this because I was blissfully unaware that this organization existed almost in my backyard.
And I continue to engage as well with the WARA 1320 AM on your dial. Would encourage anyone to listen in. It's a small town AM radio as it was when we grew up. And they have been very kind in having Ross, for instance, to discuss about our radio shows in Fall Brookline and all that sort of stuff. So they've been great partners, and if we can just get one or two or three people, perhaps to maybe come on down to our Fall Brookline, then they might tell three or four or five other people. So it can't hurt. So
Absolutely. No, thank you, Bill. That's no, that all that any way to promote the club is always appreciated, even if, like you said, it brings one additional person to our show. That's, one additional person and fair, and maybe some purchases from our vendors that, wouldn't have occurred had you not raised awareness. So, we certainly appreciate that.
yes, and I'm probably going to call on you, John, soon, just before Fall Brookline, to perhaps call in
Sure.
because it's you have a little longer lineage with the club than I do, and perhaps can discuss some things that I don't
Oh, I'm
know
happy to.
about. So yeah,
Happy to. We can talk offline and figure out a time slot, maybe the weekend before or something, and
certainly.
or whatever. Yeah, definitely. We'll discuss offline. I'd be happy to do that.
Thanks.
Um, but great. So with that in mind, if there's nothing else anyone needs to bring up, all right. Well, then I think what we'll do is we'll pick up where we left off, which just bear with me a moment. Make sure I've got the picture up here. Yep, I should. All right, so let's do some screen sharing. Okay, so hopefully you guys are seeing this is where we left off, I believe, because this was an air castle. And no, it was a sound design. Hopefully I'm at the right spot. Let me actually double check that because I remember I thought it was an air castle, but maybe it was the sound design that we said, that was where we left off. And let me double check that. There we go. I think we had. Let me just double check that because I remember we had made pretty good progress there, and I thought. I apologize. I should have been a little bit. I'm mistaken. I remember we got to this point. Yes, yes, yes. And I think that's maybe where we did leave off.
Some
You know
of
what?
us are old enough that we watch a lot of reruns, so it won't really be that
You know
bad.
what? I'll leave. I know we were here at one point, so I'm just going to pick this up where we left off. We may have a tick of overlap, but I was the reason I sent the message, the meeting invite a little late is because my wife got home a little late and I kind of threw my schedule off, and I realized, oh my God, I gotta get down and get the link out, and so it kind of threw my schedule off because I was really planning to double check where we left off. But anyway, be that as it may, here we are. So I remember we did talk about this very nice, very late 79 to 81 Zenith TO, the R, is an R7000.
It was the one made in Taiwan. It's the only transoceanic that wasn't made in Chicago.
Right, right. Because how long was that the last run they did, Bob, or did they continue?
This was the last Zenith transoceanic.
Wow. Okay.
This run right here.
Because I have the D7000Y, and that's early
the one
70s.
that's the one with the blue dial, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had one of them. It's a great radio.
Yeah, that one. I had two. I sold one, and the one I sold was actually in a little bit better shape, but the one I kept was because a sentimental friend of mine, he gave it to me, and he passed away. And it's like when people give me stuff, it stays in the collection. But he was elderly. He was 95, so he was as vibrant as you'd find right up to that point. But so I always keep what friends give me. So um, um, but yeah, it's a terrific radio. Yeah, yeah. We did cover this. This was Bob Harris's This was the radio contest, which was this was the Gen Z category, so covered from about mid 60s through about early 80s, of bring what you got for that era. And Bob had this terrific Mickey Mouse transistor radio, both of them. These are, I guess, two different models, and of course the clock to add to the backdrops. That was pretty cool. Yes, the nice Channel Master that somebody brought in. What a nice looking radio that is.
That's not a bad transistor for a 6 transistor radio. That's made by Sanyo.
Right. It's funny. I think it was you that taught me who made that, because I never actually knew who made Channel Master.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. I was pretty close. This is the one we left off. I was just off by a couple. This was the Air Castle that we all said, huh? Because I'm pretty sure it's the Air Castle. Yeah. You see the label right at the bottom there. He said, well, you don't see these very often. And we're all like, because it reminds me a little bit of the Montgomery Ward radio I have, but this one just happens to have that nice little world map as like the extra. So it's sort of like a hybrid, not quite the baseline, but not quite the full TO experience. But nice radio. I've the first one I've ever seen.
I noticed on the left part out there, just below the numerical dial, there's a battery and a tuning meter that's kind of similar to our R7000s.
Yeah, so they definitely have some similar features. Plus, they have these. I guess these are probably little illuminated dial to show which band you're at. Because these strike me. There's little lights behind each one of these. I think it's actually a pretty nifty looking radio. Plus,
they threw some nice features into that radio, I think.
Yeah, so it might have been a nice compromise, like a middle price between give up market some features, but.
Yeah, it wasn't a Volkswagen or it wasn't a Lexus. It was kind of like a Pontiac or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They built excitement. But that's what they claimed. At least that was a commercial they claimed. And I think that was true. Let's see if I get this. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, now this is new. So what do we got here? Not the best.
VCR? Is that an early VCR?
Yeah, it is 75. Yeah, I think you're right.
It's the early VCR, and I think the box on the left is like the tuner to make it be a television.
Yeah, it's a Curtis Mathis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that VHS or beta? Because that looks like it could be a real early deck, so it might be a beta.
It does look like beta.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And it's trying to see if it says the labels. Unfortunately, the lighting, I think I should use the flash on that shot, so it didn't come out that clearly. We'll see if I took a better shot later. I honestly don't remember offhand.
I wonder if that's a U-matic.
A U-matic.
Yeah, the early tapes they're pretty huge. That looks like it's got a pretty big opening for a cartridge.
Well, either that or it's just very compact in its design because it's got a little handle there for carrying it around, and
it looks pretty. It looks size wise, it looks smaller than your average VCR of that era. This one's fairly compact, but who makes it? I don't know. I sort of regret not, getting a better shot. Sorry about that, guys. At the time it seemed okay, but until you look at it up close. Let's see now. This is
it's a B&K something.
It's a television analyst.
Television analyst.
BK, yeah. B&K. This looks to be in nice. This looks to be in very nice shape.
B&K made some nice stuff.
Yeah, no question.
I've been out of the TV realm for too long, so I don't know what that did.
Yeah, well, yeah. This is interesting. This I think it's CB radio.
Yes,
yeah, CB. A
That's
unit
definitely 11 meter good buddy radio.
Washington. Yeah, Washington. I never
When they were named after presidents, that's how you know they were good.
Ah, there we go. Well, he can't, and it cannot tell a lie.
There is some sort of a logo over the knob on the right. I can't quite make that
Oh,
out.
the
I can
Uniden.
bring that. Oh, Uniden.
Yeah.
That's a Uniden. Okay,
Yeah. Plus, it's got the user's manual right above.
there we go.
It'd be honestly, it'd be a little bit tempting to actually have one, but it would just be just sitting there, probably, nothing coming over the airwaves. That's why I just stuck to the
I
scanner.
mean, John, it's 2025, and I am amazed at how many people are still into 11-meter stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. At least here in central New Jersey, that's what I'm seeing.
Well, look, that's a single sideband, upper sideband, lower sideband.
Yeah, that was definitely a bunch of money back in the day, I think.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, this is a nice, actually, it's a terrific condition too. It looks like almost rolled out of came right out of the box.
It's clean. It's a nice shape.
Nice little meter. Yeah, it's great. Ah, Lafayette.
Oh,
Little FM communication.
so VHF low and high FM communication receiver.
Yeah, you don't see those very often. I thought, well, that's kind of neat.
My father used to have a bunch of these because he was a part-time cop.
Ah, right. That makes sense.
But it's nearly useless now, because everything is trunked.
Yeah.
So you could probably just try to pick up some local stuff with it, maybe.
Yeah, it's more sentimental than it is have much practical value these days.
It's just an interesting piece to have
Right.
on the shelf.
Exactly. More of a conversation piece than a functional piece.
Yes. National by
Oh,
Panasonic.
Yeah. There's one of those little like small reel to reels.
That's cute as a button too.
Good morning, Mr. Phelps.
Or Mr. Briggs, depending
Oh,
upon
yes, exactly.
your vintage.
Exactly. I was always kind of as a little kid, I was like, who the hell is this Riggs guy? I want Mr. Phelps.
It says a little moniker on the chrome strip going across front says radio tape.
Yeah.
And if you look at the knob up top, I think there's that might be a AM radio tuning knob. So that's just not a reel-to-reel tape. It's actually a radio.
Yeah,
too.
it says radio tuning up there. It does.
Mm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Somebody's
Yeah,
got
that's
the
something you don't
channel
see.
marked.
Wonder if you could record from the radio onto the tape.
I would think you would, but it's unsure. Let's see if there's a record button. Unclear. It's not labeled as such.
Top left, there's a record switch. I don't know what it does.
Oh yeah, there it is. Good catch. Thank you very much.
It's fine, Paul.
Good
Yeah,
catch.
but I don't know if that's record from radio or record from.
Right, let's see here. It says Mike. It says Mike record tape play. That's what it seems to claim.
What's on the left?
This says radio.
Radio.
Wonder if it records it or not.
Something listen. What does it say after listen?
I can't make it out.
Yeah, it's a little dirty. A little out of the.
Might say record, listen.
Yeah, it might be.
Just to say
Record
listen.
off of the
Oh yeah,
radio,
Mike.
listen.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So maybe
Yeah, I'd go with the record lesson.
Yeah. I think we all, yeah, definitely. So there you go. It's got it all. Plus, when it's done, it blows white smoke.
Right.
No, that's for the one hit wonders of the world.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So true. But yeah, neat. Again, something you don't see all that often, especially as a national. You'll see plenty of Panasonic across cassette and even 8-track, but the old
my understanding how that works, John, is that National was. I went to Japan. For a month in 1991. I went into Akihabara, which is like the open air flea market in Tokyo. And what I learned from a couple of the locals that National was the domestic Panasonic brand through the country, and then whatever was exported was called Panasonic. So you occasionally will find a National Panasonic something here. It just kind of, so it may have been purchased maybe in the Japanese market or somewhere else and made it here.
Yeah,
I don't know how that worked out. So that might have been kind of a deluxe thing that was, for what it was at the time, just to keep in their own domestic market rather than have it for export.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, and I'm just sure, because a lot of it is marketing when you label things to your point, because there's sort of, to me, roughly, it seems like a break-off period, and I can't give a precise date, but it seems like right around up until the late 60s was national Panasonic we were getting in the United States. And then afterwards was Panasonic. There was some,
Right.
Some point, cutover point in the late 60s or 70 or so where they said, okay, it's Panasonic going forward.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
But it's funny, and it's the interesting thing, and it's probably more error based, is that I mean, even the early 70s Panasonics had nice quality, but it seemed the national, even the earlier versions seemed even a little even nicer quality. It was all relative, but it even seemed like even the switch pieces and all seemed like just a little nicer quality.
Well, they made some of the radios for the jewelry companies, like the Bulova radios. They're made by them.
Good. That's a great point. Dial light coloring kit. How often do you see that?
Wow.
That's about as rare as hen's teeth.
I've never seen one. That's why it merited a photo, even though a lot of the colors seem to have been either used up or dried or whatever. But it was just.
I bet Greg's got 3 or 4 of those kits.
No,
You
I've
might.
seen one before.
So I thought, well,
I've never seen anything like this before. I think this is neat.
it is. That's why I said I got to take a photo. I mean, long-lasting lacquer for coloring dial and signal lights. Colors are red, green, blue, amber, and purple. Also includes solvent. And of course, it's flammable because it's quite likely, it contains acetone and butyl acetate.
Then causes cancer in California.
Yeah.
Everything causes cancer in California, rats.
That's funny.
Yeah. But curiously, no skull and crossbone figure. But yeah, I thought.
California emissions.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Well worth it. You always have to show a scanner.
You're big into this whole scanner thing.
Well, you gotta have I enjoy that, it's just my little side thing, gig, and I still use mine from time to time. Um this looks like I think this is a Bearcat. Yeah, it's Bearcat 8. So this is the old got to get a crystal and plug it in. Like I said, one of these days I do want to get a Regency with the plug-in crystals, but I got to find crystals that are, worth, having. I want something in the aircraft band, but I just loved the strobing, you know, lights, and then when it stopped, picked up a signal, and you hear it play. They were nice quality pieces too.
You have to find your friend Scotty to get some new crystals.
That's right, some dilithium crystals. Oh yeah, gotta have a Star Trek joke. But yeah, the real point of it, you do see these almost every show, and I think there was a time where I just looked right through them. But I said, wait a minute, I'd like to have a scanner, and off I went, and then now I make sure they're part of the picture set when I see one. Anyway, little music box, I think.
Oh, that's just so
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
That is really cool. I like that. And I think that's a music box. I can't swear to it though. It may just be a paperweight. This was neat too.
Those are needle tins.
Yeah. This was neat. Another CB. Is this a CB radio?
Yeah, it's a Cobra.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Cobra 139. I saw the number.
Yeah. Thanks, Bob. I was looking and say, it can't be a scanner. No, it's a CB. But I kind of like that. It's a base station, obviously. But I thought that was pretty cool. And you see there's the microphone, connector right there and so forth. So I thought that was kind of fun to see.
I think that's the 23 channel. That's an earlier one.
Because I was looking at the dial, because I was like, where the heck is the display? But it's actually the old TV tuner style one.
I had some guy that I've been fixing radios for. He brought me a 40 channel Cobra, but it had a digital display on it. And it took me a solid week to go through it, but I got it working, and even the transmitter was good in it once I got it all tuned and ready to go. So they were pretty expensive back in the day. Back in the 70s, those things went for like a couple $100.
Yeah. And that's, $100 in the 70s is big bucks today.
That's a tall number for something like that.
That's right.
I'm looking at those two toggle switches on the front
Yeah,
panel.
Yeah.
I don't believe those to be original.
Those three are, but what's interesting is a base station. Why would it have a CBPA switch? I agree, it looks like a base station. What would you need public address for in a base station?
You flip it and yell, "Get me a beer!"
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody called down to his wife to get him a beer.
Yeah, that'll work well in my house.
Yeah.
But the added little toggle switches, they seem to have pretty good lettering on them. SSB and AM.
Yeah.
No, I believe that's just the logo on the front, product of Dynascan.
Yeah.
SS.
I think they just drilled right through
Yeah,
the word.
right through the B and right
Okay,
through the
you're
A.
right. You're right. Yep.
Why they did is unclear.
But it is interesting. It does say, if that's the original labeling, it does say SSB AM.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look
Yeah,
at the
top right
all the
mode
way to the
switch.
top right, the mode. There is AM, USB, LSB.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. Good catch. Unusual. It's actually an unusual rig.
I like that. Get me a beer. And then Bob, maybe you and I can get rooms together.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's funny. Yeah, it's neat. It was well worth seeing because that's not something you see every day. Especially one of this type. So that was kind of fun. I don't know. I forgot whose table that was, but cool stuff. All right, now here's a little stereo system. Probably right from the 70s. It's a stereo entertainment system. Who makes this? We gotta find the label. Got speakers.
It's solid state too.
Oh, it's
It does.
Bradford.
Oh, there it is, Bradford. Oh yeah.
Wasn't
I
that
think
like a
that was
cheap
the
RCA?
Bradley's house band or house brand.
Whose?
There used to be, in New Jersey, there was a series of stores. I think they went in New England called Bradley's.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was.
I
I
thought
think that was- I
I
think
thought
that
this
was their
was
house
like
brand.
I thought these were like low budget RCAs.
Well, there is Magnavox speakers on it. Does that make a difference? Do you think? I mean, in terms of, do you think it's tied to Magnavox,
Could be.
or maybe they're just the wrong speakers?
That just might not be the original speakers, Brad. I think.
Yeah. You may be right. I had wondered that too. But
So they were an upgrade.
Probably.
yeah, probably yeah. Given this is pretty baseline, I honestly think the price is a little ambitious, but $200.
If you had one as a kid, though,
Yeah.
Maybe they included the speakers.
Well,
Right.
even the speakers, maybe.
I agree with you. Not my
Well, let me put
style.
it this way. I ended up with I've shown pictures in the past of a nice little Panasonic, typical, lower end stereo, receiver, and I bought a pair of speakers for $50, matching ones from that era, Panasonic speakers, and I paid the total investment was probably about $60 total, and mine looks brand new, but that so half the price I'd do it, but maybe, but not for that price. But
I bet that tuning feels nice and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
well, I do like that. That's kind of neat.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. I was
I just imagine it's just kind of clunky.
Yeah, I mean, base consumer electronics, you get what you get, especially when it's not a mainstream brand like the Panasonics, the Sonys of those era, which had even the lower end models had pretty nice tactile feel. I even kind of remark how nicely overall that 50-year-old, over 50-year-old device operates, yeah, it's just a little fairly, something you'd give a kid, or a small room with as a stereo, and it actually works pretty decently. The bass, it runs out pretty quickly, but it actually sounds pretty nice. Again, it's the era, it's the price point, that, that's about
Hey,
all.
50 years from now, NEVEC will be having a contest in the one of the categories will be Bradford.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone will have one. Well, one person will enter, and I guess they'll win all three prizes. That's funny. Good. But well, let's see here. Okay, so we have something that we have a Zenith here, a couple of Zeniths. And what's above that? Is that another? That second Magnavox? No, what is that?
General Electric.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I
GE.
was looking at the upper, and so I realized that's not the name of the, yep, GE. So we have a few,
Nice little radios.
yeah, talk radio. Ah, Bob Fedoyer, Fedoyer, yeah. That's his table. Try to get some people in the picture. Nice,
Get a little
Zenith.
Zenith.
I assume this is only a single speaker, just a matching for symmetry, or was this really a dual speaker?
I've never had one, and I'm not really sure.
It's a fixer, and they asking $9, $7,
$7.
$7. Such a deal.
That's cheap enough that I'd even buy it.
You could make it a dual speaker.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I mean, it's not in awful shape. It's the speaker's got some cracks in the speaker grill, but maybe you could find a matching, a parts unit or something. Somebody to play with $7 really at that point. Some Bose speakers. At least 301s or 501s? 301s, yeah. Series
I hope
4.
you get a better picture of whatever's to the right of it, with those gold knobs.
Yes. Well, let's hope so. Here, this is kind of, oh, right. This Howard. They had the not the not the
Nakatawa Electric Company.
Nakatawa. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Howard brought this, I think. And I thought, wow, what a neat. Of course, it has a tuning eye, so I'm pretty sure that was Howard, but you never see these.
That's cool little radio.
Yeah, I like
That
it.
looks like FM only.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
what he
AM.
said.
No,
I think
AM
it's
on the
AM.
top.
AM
Is
at the top.
AM?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but neat radio.
I can't
Yeah.
make out the logo, the red logo underneath the eye.
Oh yeah, it says
Oh, Sanyo.
San,
I think that's Sanyo.
does I?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's hard to
SAN
Standard.
anyway. SAN and an O. Maybe they did a weird Y in there.
maybe.
Maybe.
Is there a price tag on that thing somewhere?
I forget that. I know Howard was selling it. It was reasonable, but I chose not to because like, well, okay.
That's something you just don't see a lot of.
No,
Oh wait, no, this can't be right. I know he's not asking $950. This might have been unless he was
Or he was showing what it's
worth. Maybe somebody, maybe
Yeah.
an eBay listing or something. This looks like an eBay listing, actually. Maybe he was just doing by example. Oh, I bet you somebody was selling it for it, but he's saying, hey, they're asking this. I'm not asking that because I know he wasn't asking that kind of money. It was probably one of those under 50, $50 or less radios. Knowing Howard, it probably wasn't that, or and plus, with Howard, it's been gone through. So you get it and it's plug and play. So yeah, that was neat. That was Howard's radio. I'm just looking at it's got tone, volume, tuning. Yeah. And this is sort of, I forgot what period of time this was. This might have been later in the day. So we had more activity than that photo is suggesting. We had a pretty good turnout, although the weather was a little could have been better overall. Let's see. Here's a nice Philco.
Nice Philco.
Didn't even get a bite on it.
Yeah, that was yours, wasn't that,
Yeah,
Carl? I
yeah,
thought
I
so.
was surprised.
That was a nice radio.
It is. It is a nice radio.
You still have it, right? Do you take
Yeah,
it?
it's got the shadow meter on it up at the very top, above the dial. So as you tune through, there's a little pilot light in the back, and there's a vane in front of it that either restricts the amount of light you see or increases the amount of light you see, depending on the signal strength.
That's cool. It's like
Yeah.
a little semi-mechanical, electromechanical tuning eye.
Yeah, yeah. 2-speed tuning.
Only the shadow knows. That's a nice, yeah. Look at boy, that's a really nice radio. I bet you, and
That's a nice set. I would have bought it.
I'll bring it to Kutztown.
Okay.
There you go. Sold. You've seen it here, folks. Not only do we show, we sell
Carl's
radios all the
spot is not too far away from mine, so
No,
find
we
me.
hang tight.
Nice.
I get to see his lovely wife too.
That's that's the first year. I'm trying to remember the model number, but that's a 1 year only. That's a 1950. Geez, I can't remember G something. G725. That's what it is.
Not
It's a
bad.
nice sounding radio.
And the giveaway is it's got the speaker covering that looks like a screen.
Yep.
And the following year they went to a metal mesh.
Right.
So that's kind of a 1 year only radio. It's a nice shape though.
All for the low price of $40.
That's
I brought that home too.
a fair price.
Wow.
For that.
Nobody took that?
Nope. About and that's all been gone through. Both those radios have been
Wow.
gone through.
What the hell was wrong with me?
Somebody swiped that book down in the corner. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, some loser. Yeah, I did rip. I did take that home. I did take that home. That's a nice book, and thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
Maybe it's just a marketing thing for you, Carl. You gotta have like a big sign that says "free beer," in big letters, and then underneath of it, when you buy 2 or more radios.
The funny thing is, when I'm doing all the photos and all, sometimes photos, I'm trying to capture the objects. I don't actually stop and look at it and realize, sometimes I don't have time to even look at the price. Say, damn, that's a good deal. There he is.
There he is.
This saying, what can I do to get you into this baby today? No credit, no problem. You brought some good stuff, Carl.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, you brought back home some good stuff too.
Yeah, well, another time.
That's right. There we go. There's Tom Scarpelli, and I can't remember this gentleman's name, but coming away with one of the purchases from Tom. Tom's smiling because he has one less radio to sell. So, So, the transaction just completed. Here's something that's seen very often, a Rogers radio.
I've never seen one of these.
Yeah, huh? Is that a Canadian radio?
Greg, have you ever seen one of these?
Never saw one like that. It's got kind of rounded sides. That's different.
Rogers, I believe, is Canadian though.
Yeah. Bob, didn't Dan and Air Club have a radio quite similar to that he was working on?
Geez, Paul, I don't know, but I just don't. It's not ringing a bell.
I remember a dial like that on the Thursday night Zooms. It was Dan.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that model, but I believe he had a Rogers with a similar dial.
Looks like it's missing a speaker.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I saw that, unless it's, sitting way below it. But yeah, it almost is funny. The cabinet, I was trying to think, is this an original cabinet or is that, stripped down?
I look at this and I think it's like half of a console radio, but it's got a decorative strip on the bottom. So
yeah,
Yeah, where do they put the speaker? That's the question. It must
It'd
be
be
either on the side or on top out of the
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it
out
just
of the
allows.
realm of the photo shot, I guess.
It looks like it was maybe 3/4 done in terms of restoration.
Yeah, and they
Stuff
said,
doesn't
okay, I'm
line, look
done.
at, the knob doesn't line up right.
Yeah, I see that. That little, yeah, there's
Yeah.
some little errors going on there, but
Yeah.
Well,
still kind of neat. I have no idea what they're asking, but it was kind of neat.
oh, there's the hole for the speaker on top.
Yeah,
Slats
yeah.
on top.
I don't know.
There's slats on top of the radio.
Yeah, yeah. It's just wondering if it's not a speaker, it's for heat, but it would seem more likely a speaker location.
Well, they do bring, they do drink a lot of Labatt's up there, so I don't know. Maybe that's why the knob is off centered.
Ah, there we go. There we go. It was Bob and Doug McKenzie actually built this.
Yes.
yeah, it was a Canadian company.
Yep. And they still exist in name, or I don't know if it's just tied to the same radio maker, but Rogers Communications still, at least the name exists because they're a service provider in Canada. They do, I think, mostly cable. We've done, we do some.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. In a way, we do our company, we do work with them, I believe, and pretty sure they do. But so the name's been around a while. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got a late entrant. What's going on here? Why don't let me? There we go. Your average Motorola AM FM radio from the what? Late 60s, early 70s?
I would say probably early to mid 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting enough.
The old Philco.
Log
Yes.
cabin.
Yes, indeed. This is nice. I don't remember whose table this was. Nice radio, though.
Philco made a lot of them, and they're actually pretty good radios. The only faux pas about those you have to watch out is they're notorious for having the on-off switch go bad.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you have to be careful.
It's a push button.
Right.
Oh, it's a push button on and off, or you're saying the
Yes.
preset?
One of the push buttons that are in that row is the on-off switch.
There it
Right,
is.
left.
All the way to the left.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. Interesting. So it's spring loaded. So much of the spring
But
gives
it's
up.
actually a great little radio when they're okay.
Yeah, it's a console and a table model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Neat.
That's probably where Zenith stole the name console tone. Put them
Wow.
on the Zenith radios.
Ah.
Wow. Okay, it's a lot of brass. What is it?
I'm not entirely sure. This would have been the job for Tom Pereira.
Yep, he would know.
In fact, when I saw it, I said, "Where is Tom?" Tom was at the event. Just that he wasn't happened to be there when I was taking the photos because I wanted to see if he could share his deep insight on these things. This particular vendor was selling a lot of interesting old gear. That's what I thought was really kind of interesting about it, and not unreasonably priced either.
I bet you that thing's got some bulk too. The brass on that thing's probably worth $50.
Oh my gosh. If you wallop somebody over the head, they won't wake up. They won't wake up from that one.
It looks like some kind of blunt instrument you'd see Bugs Bunny have on a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Three Stooges.
Or Three Stooges for
Got
that
big
matter,
leveling
yes.
feet on it.
But
Why
yeah, but it's a really nice piece. I mean, look at the nice
it's
brass
well
piece
it's
and everything.
well built, whatever it is.
It looks heavy. You're just staring, saying that thing probably weighs in at 15, 20 pounds.
Yes.
My guess is that that's a window into something floating inside, maybe mercury, and that there was a contact above that, and that those leveling feet were to level it.
Maybe
Hmm.
that's actually a reasonable hypothesis, Dominic. By
Would
the
have been a
way,
lot of mercury, but then that was common.
right. Mercury, at that time you're supposed to drink it. It's supposed to help your health.
Safe for children over 11.
Well, I used a lot of mercury in the lab at one point, a long time ago. It was just not looked at the same way.
Yeah. Some neat periodicals too, like 1912, Modern Electrics. How cool. Look at that poor person on the with one of those quack medical devices. Well, this'll fix you. Ah!
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that is 1912,
Oh, it's funny.
There were quack medical devices in the Victorian era that were apparently favored by Queen Victoria herself.
Huh.
Never knew that.
Yeah, they were
So that brass thing might be some medical quackery.
possible, yeah.
Maybe that's the queen herself. I can't tell if it's a guy or woman. I always thought it was a woman, but
Hard to tell.
perform
Brass thing's
scientific.
really
Looking at this brass piece again, it looks like an executive golf ball cleaner. Have you ever gone to a golf course and see a golf ball cleaner?
Yes.
Like you stick it in there and then you have a little hand and you work it up and down and it cleans the golf ball for you. That's like an executive version right there. Just mount that to the back of the golf cart and clean your balls.
either that, or it's a really high end bottle jack.
Oh yeah, that could be it too. Yeah.
Bill doesn't cover the electrode contacts.
Wow, that's funny. Oh wait, what?
You can't make this stuff up. This is great.
What? Isaiah just is a quadrant electrometer? Isaiah is keeping us honest. This is is that an Australian website? Physics Museum. So it is a quadrant electrometer.
Wow.
Got that Google search thing going.
Look at these. Look at that.
Google
Google image
search.
search. That's all right. Isaiah, you're providing a lot of useful background help here. So we appreciate it. That's why I pull up the chat and see what insights you have to offer. Oh, Carl disappeared and now he's back.
AI is getting better all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool. Whoop. Okay. A realistic
Radio Shack up top.
realistic here. Hopefully not at a unrealistic price.
I'm not really sure which receiver that is on the bottom.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Okay, and we can unload the food and, that kind of stuff.
I make it out.
Yeah.
The font on the dial makes it look like a Marantz Super Scope, but I can't. I could see that there's a thing on the left that the lamp cord or the wire is over the.
Yeah, and I can't seem to see
I can't
that.
make it out.
I'll try and zoom in, but let's see.
Onkyo?
Oh, it's Onkyo, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that looks like it because I think I see a yo.
Yep, that's an Onkyo.
I don't usually have a lot of stuff here because I don't.
Hawkeye Noah comes through.
Or yogurt.
Nice pair of 80s receivers. I would consider them garage quality radios. Put that out in the garage.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to that while you work on your old car or
exactly
a case of beer or something.
Right. You throw some average speakers against it, you're not going to embarrass anything.
Sure.
Exactly. Well, I don't know why it's being difficult.
Yes, the Night Star Roamer Classic.
Yeah. There it is in pretty decent nick. Yep. Sony just from the 80s classic, cassette decks. Looks like they're all cassette decks, judging from
Dual
this.
cassette deck on the bottom.
Yeah, there's a dual on the bottom.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
I used to have a Yamaha natural sound receiver. I had that. I put that out in my garage when I was working on my car.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sony and a Kai, and I'm not sure what's
it's a boombox on top of Radio
boombox. Yeah, just not sure.
See the Radio Shack symbol on the bottom, and
oh yeah, there you go. Good catch there, Bob. Yep. So we'll get the mishmash here.
You know, I've always liked the Kai componentry. They seem to have good quality stuff no matter what they made. And I don't know whatever happened to the company. I was kind of sad to see it sort of disappear from the electronics front lights here.
Yeah, I'm not sure when they disappeared. Was it in the 90s or when they disappeared?
One of my earliest cassette decks was in the Kai, and I loved it. It had like the VU display with a green backlight for the adjusting the levels and everything on record. And
Yep.
just it was just so well built. I just took it apart a couple times, cleaned things up. But just a great deck.
There it is.
There's the Radio Shack.
There we go. Realistic Radio Shack. The typical yellowing of the whitish plastic,
Yes.
from age, classic sitting in the sun a lot. But if it works, perfect
Absolutely.
set for the garage.
Well, I was just looking up Akai. They still exist.
Do they?
The Akai, sort of the common receiver stuff, that part of the company went bankrupt in 1984 or 6. But Akai Professional continues on today.
Okay, so they went out a little bit sooner than I thought. They made the 90s, but guess not in terms of consumer electronics.
Thank you, Dominic, for the info.
Yeah, Akai Professional Music Production Division emerged. This is like Wikipedia stuff. 1984, continues to operate. Akai Professional is now a prominent brand under Grand Holdings, focusing on music production hardware and software, particularly the MPC series and MIDI controllers.
Wow,
interesting.
Cool.
Okay, you got some Macintosh.
Boy, here we go.
There we go.
All right.
Yep.
This is like a boat you listen to right here, guys. Break out another 1,000.
Well, I wanted to see that picture of those units on the top because I have a pair of those. Those are C4s.
Yep, C4 preamps.
They're not preamps. They're record compensators.
Record compensators. Oh, so is that audio? Does it say audio? Audio compensator.
Audio compensators. Yeah, well, it's for the records. They have different, the equalization curves, RIAA and 78s, and so there's a multi-function switch to depending upon whether you're listening to LPs or 78s and the RIAA curve, because they're standards are a wonderful thing. That's why there were so many of them.
Yeah, right. It's kind of interesting below. You don't see these Kenwood tube receivers that often.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to see this. Some of the one that kind of catches my eye more than the rest, oddly enough, just because of the lack of common, seeing it in a commonly in our swap
What
meets.
kind of evolution did that represent, at least on the AM side, over the All-American 5 circuits?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think that's the second Kenwood tube receiver I've ever seen period.
Yeah. It's by first for me. They don't show up very often.
Yeah, there's rare as hen's teeth.
Yeah. It looks to be in decent shape, this one. I mean, judging just cosmetically.
Condition's very good. I mean, there's a little paint loss I saw on the top, but other than that, it's pretty clean.
Yeah, and that could be fixed easily enough.
Yeah, it's just cosmetic.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised there's not a pair of MC 30 watt power amps to go with those C4s, or maybe they're going to be in another picture or something.
Maybe. I tell you, I don't remember that one, Noah, to be sure. But we'll see. It was asking $500 for that, and there was the audio compensator.
Yeah, he wants that for the pair, $250 a piece. For Mac stuff, that's probably not bad these days.
Yeah, I know.
Mac stuff is pretty expensive. I think Paul is right there with it, because it's the numbers for I see the Mac stuff around here. It's in the thousands, not in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And that's how you get. It's truly, I guess technically, it's not stereo. It's dual mono. You know what I mean?
That's correct.
Completely separate. There's no crosstalk between those channels whatsoever.
This was just sort of interesting. This new words, the Telefunken Magnetophone 97. This is probably, solid mid 60s stuff, mid to late 60s. My dad had an 87, which was the late 50s. And that was pretty cool. My dad used that regularly. He even had a Magic Eye tube on it. Um, um, that was Kenny Cool's table. So I said, "Huh, that's interesting." I think it's some of his other things. A Sony looks like a receiver, digital receiver. I think
Pioneer.
and Pioneer on top of it. You know,
Techniques, Phillips, the show special.
I think it's maybe this receiver, this Phillips.
Yeah.
I wonder if I have a picture of that. There it is. Show special. Then
Can you zoom in on that Techniques?
yeah, sure.
I think I have that in my attic.
Do you?
I think so.
Or maybe you had it in your attic.
No, it's still there.
Okay.
You know what? Now that you've zoomed in on that, I'm pretty sure that's the one I have in my garage.
Really?
All those horizontal buttons across there that they're like station presets or something.
Yeah, they're like the presets in your car.
Yeah.
Oh, but they would use the button.
And then there's kind of bizarre buttons right below there too. And it's kind of well, for me anyway, it's kind of counterintuitive how to make everything do what I wanted it to do.
So you're saying the ergonomics could use some improvement.
Either that or maybe my brain can use a little improvement.
Yeah, GX650, that's not quite the one I have upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Little speaker laying
That it does the sound for my TV in the garage.
there.
I see. There's the guy himself. He sells a lot of vinyl too. I bought some pieces from him. That's Kenny Cool. And he drives around with I think he's got an old Channel 25 news truck that he takes up. They still has the 25 on the side of the truck. They must have bought that, when they were getting rid of stuff. It's like one of those Ford Echolines, I think. It's always fun to see him pull up. I think he even has a bucket on it, if memory serves.
Be nice to have a bucket truck to hang antennas with.
Yeah, fun for the whole family.
Clean the gutters, pick the apples.
There's a nice little, those little compact sets you'd find in the house at college. I think my wife, she has a somewhat older Iowa, but it still works terrifically.
Iowa made quality stuff. They were pretty good too.
They were like the thing to get in the late 90s, to early 2000s. They would seem to dominate this kind of equipment. And they were pretty reliable. They're good quality, like you said, Bob, good quality. And I think my wife also has the CD player, cassette deck. Hers is just a different model. But it's actually nice. Even the speakers sound pretty decent. It's actually a pretty nice little 50 set.
If you have a minute, I'll share what my curiosity turned up on that Kenwood receiver. 23 tubes.
Okay.
And 1962 maybe.
Okay.
50 watts power output, 65 watt max. So depends on how they look at that.
Okay. Wow.
But one of the things I thought was interesting is the AM band spectrum. It goes from 535 to 1605. And that's certainly not what the current AM band is. Does anybody know when that changed?
I have no idea.
It could be, I don't know, it could be marketing too.
Yeah.
I've got a Panasonic that has a band on it. It starts at 54 or 540 and goes to
Yeah.
650.
But it's strange. You'd think if they were going to be marketing, they would declare it to be wider than the current band rather than narrower.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the marketing people or what, why they did that. Interesting little factoid.
Yeah.
Let's see, another CB radio, Cobra. And then we get this.
I think that's a voltometer.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
a fluke or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbranded, but I'm sure somebody made it.
Yes, indeed. That was kind of.
It has the look and feel of an early fluke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chances are you guys are right.
Boy, you wouldn't think of something like that as being able to take 20 amps.
Yeah. It definitely
Well,
looks
it
like
doesn't- it
classic
doesn't-
early 70s.
Yeah, it doesn't say for how long.
Yeah.
And how many times?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, kidding aside, if you read the manuals on some of that stuff, there is a volume limitation. I mean, a length of time limitation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet. Yeah, it looks like classic 70s gear. I mean, look at that coloration of the cabinet. It's like classic, golden the golden,
Harvest gold.
Yeah, harvest gold, exactly. That screams like, 73, 4, 5.
Yeah, it looks like it could be on a Ford station wagon or something with that color combination,
Oh,
Yeah, that's
gosh,
right.
yeah.
We were right alongside the fake wood.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, throw some fake wood pal. You got a little country,
the
a
Lee, I
fluke
call it the
country,
Lee press on wood.
a
Hey, you
fluke.
come home at night and you put it next to your avocado refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a friend who was a sales rep for them, and his famous line was, "If it works, it's a fluke."
Great.
Yeah, if you put a little piece of fake wood paneling on the top, you can call it the Fluke Country Squire.
Yeah.
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 Only the finest in measurements.
Indeed, indeed. There we go. Here is
ELAC.
ELAC.
The ELAC Miracord.
ELAC. It sounds like something from Star Trek.
Well, it's ELAC Miracords, and then there were Benjamin Miracords.
Who made ELAC? Like, where were they made?
It was a British thing, I think. It was something that, but it was, I can't remember now. With Realistic had one brand and Lafayette had the other.
ELAC and something, typical.
By the way, I may not have said this last time I was able to join. As I mentioned before, I live in Littleton, Massachusetts.
Yep.
And right between Littleton and Acton, there's a consignment shop called Tables to Teapots. And they have gone heavily into retro gear like this. So if anybody is looking for that sort of stuff.
I think I have a vague recollection of that place.
Well, that's good to know, Dominic. I mean, it's not super far from where I live, no less. Not to maybe try and make a point of stopping in one day just to check them out. Are they reasonably priced?
They're not bad. I would say they're probably a fair price. Occasionally, like any of these, you'll get a deal.
Yeah.
Sometimes a really good deal. It really depends on what you're looking for, I suppose.
Right.
But you also have to it's very helpful, like any of these things. If you know a little bit about what's there, then you can sort of judge yourself as to whether it's a good deal or not. And sometimes, you can look stuff up, of course, when you're there. And if you got the right sort of websites, like radio history stuff, you can see sometimes that, this is notorious for having this particular power tube that goes in there really, really hard to find.
Yeah.
Well, if you run into that sort of thing, then the price is no longer really an issue.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these Miracords were supposedly, I mean, they were like if you remember the early, like the dual 1019, the ones that still had like a hockey puck, before they got to belt driven or direct drive technology.
Right.
So, but usually they were coupled up to a stereo system that didn't have deep enough bass for you to hear the rumble anyway. So,
Right. ELAC. Well, it's a nice little GE radio.
That's a nice looking radio.
Nice radio.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's
That's got a RF section in it, but it's not a tuned RF. It's a six tuber
okay.
GT size tube. So it's a good radio. They made them in different shapes and sizes and flavors. That actually is very nice looking. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Nice, attractive radio.
Handsome radio.
Yeah,
The actual wood.
yeah. I don't see. I guess the price is flipped over, so I can't tell you how much it would have gone for.
See those most often in a plastic cabinet. I don't think I've ever seen the wooden cabinet.
Yes.
The speaker sits upside down, kind of at an angle.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of a 45-degree angle facing the front.
I see. So sitting in the back, facing the front, kind of, or is it hanging suspended from the top?
Suspended from the top.
I see. Interesting. Neat. Oh, yes, the hot dog. And I know I can tell you who bought that. The hot dog radio. Joe Devonshire's wife bought that. Because Kathy has the hamburger radio. She's got the hot dog and now the hamburger radio. She's got the hamburger radio and she's got, oh gosh, does she have ketchup or is it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's ketchup or mustard or something like that.
I was chatting with Joe about that. I think they do have ketchup. I don't know if they have mustard.
Did they have a jack to plug an antenna in?
Sorry?
Did they have a jack to plug an antenna in? There can't be much in that.
There's
No,
probably a
it's-
little loop stick.
in fact, there's
It's one of those little ferrites that's in there.
Yeah, there's probably a little ferrite in that thing.
Runs the length of the hot dog.
yeah.
Hey, for $10, I'd buy it.
Yeah, no, she made a mad dash for it. In fact, actually, I think that photo should have been on the cover of the most recent Raven, if memory
She
serves.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually saw that and said, Kathy, you got to get over to the other end. There's a radio with your name on it. And she came back all thrilled.
yeah, she was happy, and Joe got a photo because Joe was taking photos as well, and so we grabbed a shot of Kathy because I didn't see Kathy buy it. I got it before before you
Yeah.
shot the flare into the sky for Kathy to go get it.
Yeah. Well, those things are kind of, they're kind
Yeah.
of silly. If you pick them up cheap enough, I've got one of those. I can't remember what it is. Is it a Sunkist or, it's the orange with the straw sticking out of it. It's a little radio.
There's
I had
also
one that was a little outboard motor.
oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I've got a couple of the oil can radios, and I bought the classic Oreo cookie with the bite missing out of it.
Yep.
I think the guy wanted a whopping $5 for it.
Right, exactly.
They're just fun.
Okay, more goodies on that guy who's selling the odd
It definitely has that look about it.
a Wonder microphone, simple to attach, but look, it's this really old stuff. The Leiden jars,
Real light in jars. That's cool.
and it's like, I mean, yeah, it's a really cool stuff. It's just fun to see. That's why I was hoping, because Tom loves this stuff, and so I'm sure he was over visiting the table. It just it was too bad I didn't have
Was his name Victor by any chance?
it's it's Frankenstein.
This is very cool. I really like this kind of thing myself.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, here's a Panasonic, speaking of which. Needs to clean switches. And I think it's $35. That's probably not unreasonable for a probably decent, with a light, some reasonable It's got shortwave as well for Panasonic. It's pretty nice. I think for $35, you'll probably be fairly happy with it if you cleaned it up.
Somewhere between 50 and 70 hours to get to the pots to be able to spray them.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, that's yeah, a labor of love at that point.
Goes together once, never to come apart again.
That's the problem with plastic, right? Yeah.
Hey, down in the lower right, does this thing have a BFO?
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a soft as a shortwave double super heterodyne system.
And with dual tuning rate.
Yeah.
Double super heterodyne. It's like double secret probation.
Yeah.
It doesn't do CW.
It's kind of a neat, it was a nice, sort of a neat piece of gear you don't see all that often.
Mm.
Let's see. Sound
I've
design.
seen this one before.
Yeah, that's where I started. That's where I thought I left out. Sound design. That was something you saw in like typical Bradley Caldor, blah, 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 you know.
Yes.
Another Lafayette. Whoops, didn't mean to do that.
That's another CB, I think.
Can't figure out what it is.
Yeah, I know. I you know, so we can get
I think it's
closer.
a CB. Yeah, it is.
It's
It's
a
SWR meter, modulation.
Okay, I was trying to figure out what
Wow,
kind of,
a
what kind of
CB.
piece of audio equipment it was. But it's
Oh
not
yeah, there it
CB.
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
good
there's
catch.
the little dial. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, a
And
little
there's the public address
Breaker
switch
breaker
too.
19.
Oh yeah. Son of a gun. Another little oddball one you don't see too often.
No.
They call it the Telsat.
Ooh.
Kind of neat. You know, seeing more and more like this CB gear showing up more and more at our shows, you know. People pull these out of
Late
the woodwork.
70s, they made so much of it. It's got to be laying around somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Paul. Exactly right.
How hard are some of those rigs to convert to 10 meters, though?
It depends on the radio. I did one back in the 70s, but I had to buy transmit and receive crystals for all 3 channels. And
No,
nowadays, that would set you back.
they're 11 meter radios, so you just have to chop 1 meter off at the end, and then you got it.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were so technically inclined, Noah.
Yeah. What a mind. What a mind.
Honest John's very used radios. Trust me.
Nice, Philco.
Yeah, this is pretty.
Nice.
I think it says 125 works something good. I think it says good or something. But it's a nice, I mean, the cabinet, it looks like it was restored. And really, I love the dial face on this. Really attractive.
See, that goes to 17 and change. That's a full band on the AM.
Right. Does 550 to that's full
1700.
540 to about 1750, I think it is.
How are we identifying this as a Philco? I've never seen that.
That was a 1 year only Philco. It's called concentric tuning.
Okay. All right.
You actually take that knob along the side and you spin it around
Yeah.
the dial.
Yep.
Wow, how fun. I mean, I really like that. This really caught my eye.
That's a really cool piece.
If
Yeah,
it had a tuning eye, it had to have brought it home.
That was made
It's-
for the big. Yeah, that was made.
It was made in 1938. It's either a 38.5 or a 38.7, I think, Greg.
No
And
wonder mine didn't sell.
that was focused.
Prettier girl around the corner.
Yeah, so flashing its
focused on the
eyelashes.
New York market. Look at the Markhams. Those stations are all New York frequencies,
Yeah, I see that.
so they focused it on the New York tri-state area market.
WOR. My parents listen to that regularly when we lived in
Yeah.
Or
Long
did they
Island.
sell a different dial depending on where they marketed it?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Actually,
They all have the same shortwave coverage, like 60 meters to maybe
No, this one goes as 80 uh,
5.5 megahertz. That's like 60-meter band.
Do we know what he was asking for that? That's a cool little radio.
1010 wins.
It's interesting. It must have actually cost if they wanted a customized dial. I actually sort of cost them, Philco to actually make different dial faces for that because it doesn't look like that's, it looks like that was all had to be done by the factory, whereas everybody else did a little your favorite buttons, you learned ahead and you just labeled your push button preset. Yeah.
That's one of the most interesting radios I've seen.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top.
That's
At the
what
top of thing, he's got a
that's what that
sticker on there. He
dial
wanted
does.
100 and change for it.
Yeah, 125, I think is what he's saying. Yeah,
I
it
can't
works.
believe it's in pretty nice shape.
Yeah, like I said, I took the photo and said, wow, this is unusual. I wasn't even sure who made it. So thankfully you guys were able to pick that up because I didn't see a Philco sign or anything. I was like, I don't even know who makes this, but we'll discuss it. And we did.
I think that's the right number for that radio too. That 125 is not unreasonable for that.
Well, especially if it's been done.
Do
Especially
you
if it's done.
think it used to be like a decal or something on the wood, like with labels of the three knobs and just
You would think, I
It
would
all
have
wore
thought
off.
so.
It should have had a Philco decal under the speaker.
yeah,
Somebody must have
Philco under the
refixed it.
speaker and then
Yeah.
volume tuning and band select or
Yeah,
something
I
like that
but
where the other three knobs are.
maybe they refinished it and never did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right because Philco, I've never seen a Philco without that error without the decal.
I'm not so sure mine has decals on it, and I've not refinished it, and I don't think it was refinished.
Oh,
No, Philco never put them by the knobs. It was just the one decal that said Philco.
Ah, that says Philco. Okay.
Yeah.
What's it say at the very bottom of the dial? Is that the part number?
let's take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it doesn't say anything particularly enlightening.
That's a Philco part number.
Yeah,
It's the part number for the New York station.
Right.
exactly.
Right.
If you hold it right there, if you look in the end of that little knob there's a special tool they came with so you could set the
Yep.
presets. And I've never seen the tool, but
Huh.
What could you set with that? I'm sorry.
if you look in the end of the knob
Yep.
there,
Yep.
there's a special tool that fit in there. And that's how you set the little cones. There's
Oh.
little cones in the dial. When you push that in, it locks it onto the cone, and that's how you set it's like a preset button.
Ah, okay.
Interesting. I had
So are
no
these
idea.
the presets the person set up?
I think your dealer had to set them up because the station IDs are printed right on the dial. I think they had special dials that they would put on there for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if they just made the outer ring for different areas and your dealer put it in.
I think if you look carefully, you'll see there are at least three concentric rings that
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not the entire dial, it's just the outer
Right, the
ring.
outer ring. You're probably right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
Or they just sent them to those that like the tri-state market or the Philly market with the rings.
Maybe.
yeah, maybe they said the hell with the rest of you.
Yeah, they probably didn't. Maybe they didn't have a Tuscaloosa version.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
if you look at radio in the 30s, where were your marketplaces?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can
California
you
cities,
slide over to the far left of it?
tri-state cities, Detroit, Chicago,
yeah,
Indianapolis. Those were your concentrated areas.
yeah. It's an excellent point, Paul. Yeah, definitely. It was probably
Boston, obviously.
yeah.
Most often you see that dial in a console. They had that slant front console that had the same concentric tuning, but this
Right.
is the only Taylor
Right.
dial.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Yeah, John, you saw one. It's one you talked me into getting.
Yes, that's right. Oh yeah,
Big dial, yeah.
yeah. You got that. We got that into your Nissan. It made
I
it.
have it downstairs. I'll get to it.
Oh, you got a nice piece for nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's you can't beat that. But yeah. I sadly had a hand in in unsettling your marriage.
So just come again. It was a Philco. Did somebody know what the model number was?
Ooh.
I think it was a 38-7, if I remember right, or 38-6. Let me see, look it up here quick.
I think that's right, Greg.
The smart guy with the Google image search has left the Zoom
Yeah.
call, so we'll never know.
You could use them now.
Oh, we lost Isaiah. Oh, that's too bad. He works sort of behind the scenes over the chat window. That's
You know,
nice, right? I don't know if it's sold. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it at Fall Brookline 5 weeks from now.
There'll be a line to buy it now.
Yeah, now that the word's gotten out. Yeah.
The 38-7.
Thanks.
I think the console is a 38-4. I'm not mistaken.
So that tuning knob, that big tuning knob, just turns the outer ring there.
so
Oh,
you grab the knob and literally just pull it back and forth.
yeah, you swing it around the dial.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
swing it around. And
Now,
then it's vernier.
is it moving the pointer or the outer ring?
Just the pointer.
The pointer.
Okay. All right.
Then that big knob is for fine tuning.
Yeah.
You get
Okay.
close to the station, you can.
Wow, that's
And it's a glass face, not plastic.
yeah,
Which
you can see.
I thought was pretty cool. It's heavy glass.
Yeah, it's got a. In fact, it's really a handsome radio. Like aesthetically, the dial face, everything. It's very striking radio.
Yeah, radiomuseum.org has a listing for this. One of these was sold in 2010 for 125.
Okay, it's holding its price. Does it show a Philco somewhere below the speaker? A Philco
No,
decal?
it doesn't have anything on there.
Huh.
Wow. Huh.
Maybe it's the same radio.
37, it's a 38-7T.
I've got one myself that has the Philco decal on it.
I wonder if it's the same radio.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you think? What were the odds? But you never know. Maybe someone bought it and decided to get rid of it. It's funny. Okay, what do we got here? Testers, test equipment. A Supreme.
There's a lot of ports in that thing.
You knew the tube was good if this said it.
It says Supreme automatic.
They made some nice looking test gear. I've had a couple of pieces just out of enjoyment of the look. And
It is a good looking, striking looking piece.
I never had
Yeah.
one of the tube testers. I've had some of their other stuff. It's pretty heavily built.
I had a signal generator of theirs. It was gorgeous.
I've got one of their signal generators. When you get inside the things, they were built separate coils for each band. They weren't just relying on harmonics.
Yep.
Good sized power transformer in it.
Ah, Crosley,
Crosley.
$50.
Crosley Fiver.
I like the dial glass on that.
Yeah, isn't it? So it is nice.
Dial.
Although I don't see it on that dial. I have an 8-tube version of that radio.
Mm-hmm.
And right where WLW is, which was Pal Crosley's little baby that on there, which was at, I think, I'm trying to remember the frequency.
There it
has
is.
the letters WL. There it is on that one, WLW, right there.
His station.
700 on the dial. See it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So on all those Crosley clear dial radios like that, you have that same dial on there. That's the only station indicator on the whole dial.
Was that side lid or was that the dial face? So that's side lid, I guess.
Glass is convex, and then there's a mirror, like a piece of mirror foil behind it, and then the dial light is coming from the side, so it looks like it's going right through the dial and reflecting onto the mirror image in the back.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's kind of a cool effect when it's lit up.
That's like a radio, not unreasonable at $50, especially if it's been restored.
No, not at all. That's very fair for that radio.
No. Is this an? Is this is not an airline, is it?
I don't know what that is.
Might be an airline, yeah.
It's a tight tuning.
Yeah, there's not much of a dial on it.
Is that a Crosley of some sort?
Yeah, it is pretty. It's a pretty meager dial face, that's for sure. Maybe it's. I'm not sure made it.
Like it's been touched up.
Belmont? Oh.
Could be. Oh
That
yeah, it
white
was.
spot in the middle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, it's been
Sure.
patched.
Yeah. Huh.
Delco.
So there we go. It's kind
That's
of
cute.
yeah, it's neat.
Cool little radio.
Yeah.
Like
With
a
the
nice
with
little
the
what, lucite handle.
yeah, I think that's pretty nifty. Yeah.
Digital knobs.
Reeby.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, Greeby radio synchro phase.
That is very cool.
Nice
Yeah.
clean sample.
Yeah, even
I
the
wonder if that's reprint.
it's funny you mentioned that because because I've the ones I've always seen were more of the paler looking manila folder style color. This one's more yellowy. I mean, it's hard to say, but
There's no color drift by the edges of it.
yeah.
Nonetheless, it's a gorgeous radio.
Yeah, they are terrific to look at. They are certainly eye candy in terms of the early sets.
Whoever serviced it has everything in there clean as can be.
Yeah. It just looked like it rolled out of the box. So just open it up and there it does. Yeah, it's neat. That's a better, a little further backdrop. 225. Well, hey, for something like that, I mean, this looks about as nice as you'll find.
And for something that nicely done, the cabinet work is gorgeous.
Yeah. It is really nice. Or it's been hardly used and just stuck away in someone's closet for all these years.
No, they're going to replace the paperwork in the back. It wasn't because it was stuck in the closet.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. It's just like sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong about that. It's just shockingly clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, there's no sign of curling, of discoloration, anything.
Yellowing on the edges,
Right.
Yeah.
warping.
Yeah. No, you guys are I find myself agreeing. I guess there's that small chance of a unicorn, but
Well, maybe it was kept in a nitrogen-filled dry box for 50 years.
aha, there you go.
100 years or 100 years,
But still, as a restoration, it's very, very nicely done.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be a museum piece.
Agreed. Agreed.
The two little knobs, one of them, at least one of them, I think, is called something like tone color.
Tone color. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you see tone color. I think it says it right here, Carl.
Yeah.
And volume
It just
here.
pushes in a bunch of capacitors. I had one for a while.
Interesting.
How'd you like it? I never had a synchrophase.
It's a TRF, and all you're really doing there, if you go back in, zoom in above where the ball chains are,
Mhm.
you actually one of your first steps is to find a station, obviously, and get all three stages peaked.
Yeah.
And then you tighten down that plastic piece there, and from then on, it's basically a one knob radio.
Oh, okay.
It's a classic TRF.
That's cool.
The one possibility, unless there's a copy, is that the one thing I find interesting is the writing and the type of ink. It looks like your typical inkwell style writing. It just makes you wonder whether there's a small chance this is original.
Yeah.
And you see this on classic cars, that was done as part of the replication.
I mean, I've got a selection of fountain pens I use all the time. I could reproduce that pretty easily.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's probably that's fair. That's fair too.
How many cars have you looked at that have been painted that have the build marks on the firewall or on the frame rails?
Yeah.
You know those aren't original.
Yeah, no, there's definitely cars that are restored beyond what the factory would have shoved out the door. That's for sure.
But that's very nice.
It is. I mean, you know what? You want one of the nicest sets, examples is about as nice as you'll find.
It's an interesting set to look at compared to the other 3 dialers today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely has style compared to the typical 3 dialer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even just all the all the metal work and so forth,
Yep.
beautifully done.
Piece of somewhat useless information about that radio. Richmond Hill, New York is actually in Staten Island. I think
Is it?
I think that's the
I thought-
only radio that was built in Staten Island.
Oh, that's interesting. Some reason I thought Richmond Hill was Queens, but you're
Oh,
probably
wait a
right.
minute, yo, I'm thinking of the wrong Richmond. No, you're right, John. It was in Queens. You're in Queens. I'm wrong.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
It's
I
all right.
forgot about that. There is a Port Richmond. That's why I'm getting confused.
Ah, there we
Staten
go.
Island.
Yeah, now I got your point.
You're right. Richmond Hill is in Queens. I stand corrected.
No, it's okay. Well, that was not far down the street from where Fada was making. I think Fada
Right.
was. I thought wasn't they in
Uh,
where was it? It was right adjacent. It's near Woodside. It'll come to
yes,
that's
Long Island City.
might
That's
have
what it
been.
is. Long Island City. That's still part of Queens over there.
Oh, yeah, it is on the west side. Yeah,
Yep, Frank D'Angelo's little playhouse.
exactly. Oh, there's Russ. Russ was here, but now he's there. So maybe he transported. Russ had a table. Let's see. I say head to Bendix Radio. Nice little radio. Aviation, Bendix Aviation Company.
Hmm.
And a modern Crosley, a replica.
Hmm.
But no WLW.
No,
No.
they missed that in the translation. This was neat. There was people with original these first edition like Hardy Boys, the early edition with even the cover. I thought, wow, that's terrific. I kind of secretly almost wanted them because I remember as a kid I got my hands every single Hardy Boy book I could get my hand
So
on.
did I. So did I.
Yep.
And I
I
thought,
got
wow,
Tom Swift there too.
yeah. Somebody grabbed the books. They were asking reasonable money. I just, I was like, okay, I can only take home so much stuff. And it really kind of, I almost was tempted to buy it, because I think they were asking really reasonable money. But I had all these great books. And I think some were stayed. I think maybe the Tom Swift books stayed, but yeah. But I love with the cover. You never see them. It's hard to find them the covers. Because you take the cover off, there's sort of like this brownish tan cover. It's and it's just hard to find with the covers on them. So that's what made them even more fun.
John, take a look at the one of the ones that are sitting upright on the table. The second one from the right says the short wave mystery.
Yeah, and I bet you I read it, but I don't remember what it was about. Other than shortwave.
I just looked this up. I never knew when the Hardy Boys first appeared. They date to 1927.
Okay, that seems right. Because I remember reading. I remember the one I have because I think it wrote a series of years. Mine was like the early 30s, like the book. I think I have a couple. I think I gave most of them to my niece and nephew. I only had maybe 3 or 4 or 5, but I might have kept one maybe in the garage somewhere in a bin.
Well, Wikipedia says that from 1959 to 70 something, the first 38 books were all rewritten to remove social and ethically challenging passages.
Right, naturally. It's contextual. I mean, come on, folks.
Yeah.
Take, I calm down, yeah. I think they were terrific, those books. I have such fond memories. We go in a quick tangent here. especially in the summer, almost assuredly, every Wednesday night, my dad would take us to the library. We'd spend an hour or so looking at all the books. And my sister and I, she got the Nancy Drew, I got the Hardy Boy. And so we each, I think you're allowed to take up to 5 books. So we each had 5 books in hand, run back home, and we're already pouring through. We're pretty much done by the weekend. So we're like, okay, what to do now, in terms of reading. But yeah, it was fun.
I remember having a textured green cover. They didn't have
Yeah.
the paper covers. They had sort of a texture, heavy textured, and the printing like you see there, the picture was
Yeah.
on the cover.
The one I have, I wish I could grab it out of the garage because I think it's not in the best of shape. The binding's kind of weak. And I think that the library was selling. I think I bought some as a kid from the library. They're selling for like, 5 cents a pop. So I bought like 4 or 5 of them, spent a quarter, and I got home with 5 books. And, all of them are missing their covers. But if you see like this one, this is the color one I have. It's sort of this brownish tan. That's what the color of the binding is if you don't have the cover. That's what I've got.
Okay.
And maybe a
Yeah, the
hint of green.
ones
There
I
might be a hint of
remember-
green. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Carl.
Ones I remember were a heavy green,
Hmm.
rough style.
Interesting. Though maybe that was either early, the very first ones, or maybe later they switch.
Yeah, I think in the lit. No, because I'm thinking of ones I would have read in the early to mid '60s, and I don't remember them as being out of context in terms of time.
Yeah.
So whoever said that Wikipedia says they rewrote them, that would fit in.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I remember reading them in the mid '60s as well, and I mean, I couldn't tell you today whether anything was out of context.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember anything out of the and I think there might have been just phrases I'd say we might not use the same way.
right,
But
right.
but you kind of laugh at it,
Yeah,
like if the word that I remember, using I remember like the term gay being used, but it was used as an emotion, not a
right.
sexual
Yeah.
preference, whereas we don't see that term used, very often as for an emotion, so somebody went out there, struck that out and replaced it with whatever, happy or whatever. And it's like, for heaven's sakes.
Maybe, yeah.
For heaven's sakes, everyone knows the words as they were made, that if you look in the dictionary, it still has a meaning.
I remember reading a kid's book from the '20s about some kid that was sailing around the world with someone, and the term was something like this. He ran out to the captain and said, "I think we're in trouble." He ejaculated.
Oh, right. Yes. You know what? It's funny you mentioned that, Carl. That word shows up in H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I remember reading that book when I was like I don't know, like 10 or 11, 12. And I thought, huh, that a word I would have,
Yeah.
I would have used. I said, I hope it's not when when a 12-year-old is thinking, it's like, yeah, yes, that's funny you mentioned it. I was like, that's a term. I'm sure somebody, all the censors are actually going there changing that.
Right.
You've got the original theme song from the cartoon The Flintstones, where
gay old time.
you're having a gay old time in the
Yeah.
town of
Yeah.
Midrock.
That is funny, Carl. I've long forgotten about that until you brought it up now. And I said, I remember reading H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, and I was like, well, that's interesting. But then I think I went over to the trouble looking up the dictionary. I said, come on, it's got to mean something else.
Yeah.
Sure enough, sure, I had a meaning that's, was again an emotion. Okay,
He
got
was
it.
just really
Folks, I gotta
excited
break
to
off
see
a couple
the
minutes early.
UFO.
I
Sorry.
gotta go. Sorry. Thanks for
Dom-
the company. And
Yeah, Dominic Ledge, you joined. We'll be wrapping up the next few minutes anyway.
thanks. Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.
But
Good night.
But good night. But yeah, this is great though. I mean, all these books, it was like, if I had all the space in the world, I probably would have bought them, just because it's fun. I might even cracked open a book just to sort of relive the experience. But
No,
you
we're all
go,
gonna have to go back and listen to the War of the Worlds radio broadcast, see if that word is in there.
yeah, well, what's the name? Orson
Orson
Welles.
Welles.
Yeah, you see that word all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. I mean, there's a chance I'm wrong, but I remember reading it, and I loved reading like I like the H.G. Wells books, and I remember reading it. There's a chance I'm wrong, but I remember it was a sci-fi book. I remember I'm like, in like, middle school. I was like, huh, that can't be what I'm thinking. So like, ooh, but any rate,
Well, the Oxford Dictionary says a dated meaning of it is to say something quickly and suddenly.
there we go. And there's state, that's and I'm sure that's what I saw when I looked it up. Of course, it's been been a little bit of a while, but yeah.
Well, we are the vintage. Anyway,
Exactly. And that goes back to vintage entomology and vintage
Right.
usage of words, But here's a neat telephone. Uh, it looks bona fide, like, vintage.
Got call letters on the dial.
Yeah.
KTAS.
Yeah. KTAS. Kind of neat.
So that must have been the hotline. So if you want to get some music on the
Yeah,
radio, you got
that was the
call to
request,
that right.
the request line.
Yeah, thank you. The request line
We got a new one coming out from Benny Goodman.
from Rudy Valley.
Yeah.
Look at the characters on the 9. The heck is that?
Oh yeah.
Epsilon.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Data.
It's a fraternity phone.
AEO.
Huh?
Alpha Epsilon.
The A and the E are one character.
Yeah.
You know what? The characters aren't making sense in a lot of them. Number 2, ABD, 3,
C, number what
EFG.
is
B
C?
is a 1.
Yeah. That's really beats that kind of me.
BXY for 8.
Suppose that's Orson Welles' telephone after he had a lot of that cheap wine to drink.
Yeah.
No, it's a secret decoder ring.
Oh, is that what that is?
I don't know. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we need Tom Pereira. It's actually it's an Enigma
It's an
telephone.
Enigma
Yeah.
telephone.
There we go. That handset looks tiringly heavy to hold. Look at that. It's got that, the mouthpiece right there. I mean, look at this thing.
That is a strange thing.
It is.
I wonder if it's one of those single channel radios for KTAS.
Oh, it's an interesting question.
But still the things going around the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it don't make much sense.
That's something we need a telephone expert on.
Or the Hardy Boys.
Indeed. Here's an RCA.
Wow.
Decent enough shape.
Looks like an oldie.
It looks like it's a,
Looks like it's a
UHF converter.
UHF converter.
Oh yeah, looking at the range.
Early.
Yeah.
Very early.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Look,
We
it's
need
tuned-
Mark.
tuned-
We need Mark Nelson on that.
Yeah, it looks like it's almost tuned to TV 38 for what's brewing.
There we go.
Oh, it's a
With all
UHF
due
converter.
respect, that's probably the most useless thing at the show. You would,
Now,
What-
I was wondering about that because I'm not clever enough to have figured this out. But what about this this over the air quote unquote free TV nowadays? Like, where is that in the spectrum? Is that some of those stations are UHF, and could you tune them in with this? And then
I think they're digital sub channels, aren't they?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
I don't think it has a decoder in there.
They still use conventional UHF and VHF frequency spectrum. The only difference between the two of them is seemingly, and I can't explain why, that the signals on the UHF certainly can go a further distance than VHF, which was the complete opposite of when
Yeah.
analog TV was here.
Right.
So, go figure.
Well, I used to listen when I was off on the boat. I'd listen to channel 6 News out of Providence to get the weather. And I used to use an FM radio, listen down around, I don't know, 87.6 or something, very bottom.
Yep.
Even in Newport, I can't get that anymore. So uh, I know for a while they were transmitting with the old uh, style, but I think that's all gone now. I think it's all digital.
Well, here's to back up my point is I have digital TV. I don't have cable or satellite or anything like that.
Yep.
So I just have a cheap Chinese made digital antenna on top of one of those I think it's 22-foot high aluminum interlocking guide poles that I use for my 10 to 40 meter ham radio antenna.
Yep.
And from 30 miles away, well, 30 whatever it is to New York City, if I'm picking up MeTV, which uses low VHF signaling,
Yep.
sometimes it will drop out here. However, with that antenna pointing in the same direction, I could pick up MeTV in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which uses UHF and never drops out.
Huh.
So, I still don't understand why, but that's just how it is.
Huh.
And the station is probably another 20 miles away from the one that comes out of New York that I get.
There's no buildings or trees in the way though, because it's coming across Long
Well,
Island
the
Sound.
other thing that I understand about digital TV is this: it's very line of sight.
Yeah.
So the higher you can get that antenna up, or if you're living on a mountain, you're golden. You'll do much better than if you live in a hole.
Yep.
So the higher you can get your antenna up there is probably the best. Also, you want to keep your antenna away from trees and things like that, or any kind of obstructions, and that'll help you out there too.
Right.
I was capable until we just had a recent storm and a couple big trees went down. I used to be able to pick up a station in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is probably about 75 miles away on digital TV. But now, since some trees went down, I can't pick it up anymore.
When the trees went down, huh?
Yeah, which I don't understand that. But that's where I am at now. But now, since other trees have come down in my neighborhood from the last storm, I'm picking up a couple Philadelphia channels late at night or when there's a storm or something like that, which I couldn't do before the storm that we had. So there's a lot of weird physics going on that I don't understand, and I only know what I know about it from trying to optimize, getting a signal to my 55-inch TV so I could watch TV.
Indeed.
So as Carl says, this UHF tuner from RCA Victor is about as helpful as a flat tire.
That's funny.
So,
well, boys, maybe I'll stop right around here because we're just a couple of minutes after the top of the
time.
That'll be easy to remember where we left off with that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
The thing Carl was bitching about.
There's still plenty left to see, but anyway, I guess we will have our next meeting right after the Labor Day weekend or so. So in the interim, hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. Speaking of which, and hope you guys find something fun to do. And we'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks. And hopefully you guys will start making some of these shows and get yourself ready for all the onslaught of shows that are coming around the corner. So
these are all good things.
All good things. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, you don't even have to worry about being happy and gay. You just go.
But all right, guys. Great.
All right.
Thanks for joining. Glad to have you. It was a lot of fun.
Fun tonight.
Good night. Thanks a lot, John.
You bet.
Good night,
Take care,
guys.
guys.